This was Kampala's central business district as traders heeded to the call by Kampala Capital City Traders Association, Kasita, to close business premises until their concerns are addressed. An economist, Professor Fred Muhumuza, sheds light on the situation.
This engagement really is the traders having an issue with government. And quite often you want to escalate issues if you think the other measures have not been exhausted. This is something that has been in the public space, and we have had it coming. We've had their issues. URA has explained itself. The traders have not found that explanation satisfactory. So I think they're escalating this to the next level, and I know that government will come through. But really the main point that people know out there is the issuing of EFRIS.
The standoff, the second in as many weeks, is raising pertinent questions. According to Muhumuza, the business community, who are yet to subscribe to the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution, EFRIS, are afraid of the implications of enrollment.
Those who have not been on EFRIS are looking at it as an infringement. What does URA want to do with the data? Why can't? But also there's the cost of complying. If you have not been using data, now you need full-time data because this is a real-time system. Every time you issue a receipt, you have to interact with the system of URA. And the data cost is an additional cost to them. The gadget may not be that much of an expense because per saying cost is little, but the data cost for people with high volumes of transactions, that can become an issue to deal with. But even others, as we've said, they have seen in the past, the moment you get onto EFRIS, and EFRIS uncovers your past history. You've been telling URA, I sell 2 million a day. Now EFRIS declares you are actually selling 7. So which means you've got to pay more taxes than you have been paying. But quite often URA at times goes in the past to say, now that you've been under declaring, we are going to check your history as well, what they call the historical audit. Now that historical audit, very many people have found challenges with it. It brings up tax obligations you should have paid which you didn't pay, but they really enter into your cash flow.
With no amicable solution yet, with an aggressive revenue body determined to collect significant revenue to finance government operations, the question is, what next?
So I am very hopeful that the meetings that have taken place in government today, the follow-up meetings that will happen even before the president, hopefully even the president won't be necessary, they will resolve it. But we are saying in future, how do we go about some of this? Because listening to the other party to say, now I want this. Because you have the law, you need it, and for a good cause. We need the revenues collected. We need the businesses understood. But what is the cost of compliance on the business? Economics, we sometimes call that transactional costs. That cost of data, the buying the print and the paper to print. And that time of handling one customer now taking 3 minutes instead of half a minute. For busy places like Chikubo, you really don't even have that time. The internet can be off, so you have to wait. Do I issue? Do I not issue? But also the difference between an invoice and cash. I know the people who supply government, there has been that modification. That for them when they issue an invoice, they are not required to pay tax until they have been paid. Because sometimes government knows I delay to pay them. So don't penalize them. Now we are saying the way government delays to pay those who supply it is the same way other people face delays. So how do we roll out that good practice to the other private individuals? So an invoice and a receipt are two separate things. So can we find ways of always discussing the detailed implementation issues before they escalate to this level? And I think that's the way to go.
Sigoa for UBC News in Kampala.